Hey, this is Jeffrey Brown from Market for Yourself podcast, and today's guest is Jordan. Jordan, introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Hi, my name is Jordan Hajj. Currently, I own a business that deals with helping families and individuals that are in foreclosure situations. We help them understand how foreclosure works, what are the different strategies they can use to get out of that foreclosure as well. Um, so yeah, we help people that are in need of help when they're in those situations.
Awesome. So tell me, how did you get into the port? What made you go into that business? How did you get there?
So, good question. Real estate has always been something that I've wanted to do. I wasn't sure about the avenue when I originally started because you have wholesaling, you have being a real estate agent, you have a lot of different options when it comes to real estate. I joined the sub two community, Pace Mortgage sub two community, and I just wanted to get information on how to like get into properties, get into owning properties. And one of the ways was that subject to, that's where if they have a mortgage on the property, you just continue paying that mortgage for that seller or that homeowner. But in that community, they taught us about foreclosures and how you can actually help people that are in foreclosures or in a foreclosure situation, how you can help them get their house back or help put money in their pocket to help them move on. It's never a fun situation, but that was the route that I went down. I saw a challenge and I was like, this seems like it would be fun. Uh, and I just went for it. And that's how
Right.
I got into the foreclosure market.
So let's talk about the ideal client because we know that the market is changing right now. As we talk,
Yeah.
prices are dropping, people are losing their jobs, things are happening. So, I mean, it's a good opportunity for you to get involved and just kind of help them out. Um, But the ideal client, the person that you can help the most, let's talk about them. Let's talk about who they are if they're
Okay.
watching, if they're watching right now.
No, no. So, the ideal client will be either an individual or a family that owns a home and they currently have a mortgage on it and they're now late on those monthly payments. Usually that the foreclosure process takes a couple months just to start and it's come about many things. It could be because there's medical debt that you have to pay for. A lot of families that I've already helped, they got sick. They weren't able to work and payments started adding up. So, that ideal client will be someone who's been in those situations where it wasn't necessarily their fault that they missed those payments. Something happened, now they're behind and they're in that foreclosure situation and they don't know how to get out of it and the different strategies. That would
Awesome.
be the client.
Awesome. So, and I know a lot of times things happen in life. People lose their jobs, people get sick, and they just, can't afford to financially make the payment. So here you are, you come along and you do that. So tell us the strategy, because a lot of them are like trying to figure out educating themselves on how to get out of this situation. What kind of strategies are you using to help them so they can understand that?
So you have a couple different main ones. You have one, will the bank work with you? If they will, they'll often do a wraparound or a loan mod where they'll modify the loan and, let's say you're behind 30,000. Maybe they'll add that 30,000 back onto the mortgage. You're like, hey, I'm healthy now. I can start making those payments. So it's one, talking to the banks and understanding the different options the banks will provide for the homeowner. Some cases, the banks will give them money, give the homeowner money and be like, hey, listen, here's 10,000. This happened last year, actually, was the first time I'd ever seen it. The bank offered the gentleman money. They were like, yeah, take $10,000 and we'll take over the property from here. So it's speaking to that bank. And from the bank, if that doesn't work out, you're gonna look at your credit repairs, because those credit repair companies usually help. Depends on the situation, but they do tend to help. They help fix your credit, but they can also help find ways for you to get money to make those payments back. If that doesn't work, it comes down to selling your assets, selling what you have. Here in Nebraska, there was a gentleman who owned a company and he had like 6 vehicles. His option was to sell those vehicles and make those payments. He didn't really have anything else. No credit repair company was going to help him. So he chose to sell. So those are the avenues we go down. And then our always worst case, the last case scenario is we try and get money in your pocket. If there's no way for you to, pay back that loan, it's okay to say goodbye to those memories and move on to the next stage in your life by selling your house, getting at least 10,000 in your pocket and moving on.
Right. So now these services that we just talked about, you do this for absolutely no cost to the homeowner. You do it for free.
Correct. Correct.
And I really wanted to make that clear because a lot of people say, well, what is this going to cost me?
Yeah,
And
it's nothing.
right. So if they reach out to you, Jordan, they can actually get these services for free. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct. These services are not costing them.
Okay. So Jordan, where do people find you if they need help? Where would they go and find you and give you a call or reach out on a DM or wherever that is? Where would they find you?
So we have a Facebook page called Real Estate Home Solutions. That's where we've been predominantly on. We are actually getting a website made. It's under the works. So
Construction.
we under Real Estate Home Solutions.
Okay. All right. So people, if you're listening and you're facing foreclosure, you're behind, reach out to Jordan. Um, the page again on Facebook.
Real Estate Home Solutions.
Awesome. Awesome. So Jordan, is there something that you wished I've asked you on the podcast that I have not asked you?
Yes.
Okay.
One of the things, so this podcast right now is about letting people know that what we do, what my company does. Uh, it would be nice if the listeners got to hear and understand that when they're in foreclosure, you have essentially 20 days. The first 10 days and the last 10 days. If you're in foreclosure, the moment you get your notice, those first 10 days, if you know that, hey, I won't be able to make that payment, you can sell your property. It isn't illegal to do that. You can list it with a real estate agent, or you can come to us and you can sell your property and get cash for your property. And in the last 10 days, those are going to be the most difficult. If the bank isn't willing to work with you because it's the last 10 days, they've given you time, you're going to be in a very difficult situation and you might be forced to sell your property. Because at the end of the day, they auction your property that goes on your record. It's going to mess up a lot of things for you in your current life, and it's not something you can stop. This way, you can at least get some money in your pocket if it's on those last 10 days. So you do have options in the beginning and at the end. You just need to realize once it starts, take action now. Don't wait till the end. Because in the beginning, you have the most time to find a solution, or it helps find a solution if you start in the beginning.
Awesome. Once again, before we go, tell them where to find you on Facebook, the page.
It's real estate home solutions.
All right, man. I really appreciate you coming on because things are changing rapidly in our country right now, and there's probably going to be a lot of things that are going to be not going the way we wanted them to go,
Yeah.
and these some of these people are going to be losing their homes. So, if
I
that's a go ahead, I'm listening.
oh no no. I was just gonna say, I just want them to know that there is people out there that will help them kind of
Right.
fight for their home.
Awesome. All right. Until next time, this is Jeffrey Brown with Market for Yourself, and we'll see you soon.